What's going on, everybody? It's AG here with the release of Dexter's prequel, Dexter Original Sin. Let's go ahead and rank all seasons of Dexter. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started here. Join me down in the comment section. Let me know your rankings are moving along. All right, so number 9, we've got season 8. This is pretty much the only season of Dexter that I would say is kind of lackluster. If you're a true Dexter fan, like you're going to be able to get through this season, no problem. You're still going to have some enjoyment out of it, but when people ask, what's a show I should watch? I would say Dexter is one of the best shows out there, probably top 5 for me of all time. But season 8 is really the only one for me that's kind of just not very good. Like I said, if you like Dexter, you're going to find some things in here you like nonetheless. But a lot of people will say after season 4, it just went straight downhill. I would argue minus season 8, really it's a pretty good show other than that. Season 8 is the only one that is kind of lackluster. The brain surgeon, not a very good villain, I didn't think, and they didn't really wrap it up nicely like I hoped. There's some stuff here that's kind of questionable, like Batista just witnesses Dexter just slash the brain surgeon along with Quinn, and nobody reacts to anything. So there's some questionable stuff going on here. And then the ending, lumberjack ending, that's up to you on how you feel on that one. Number 8, New Blood. So this one, the newest one that came out. Now this one really could have gone up a little bit if they would have stuck the landing. If they would have stuck the landing, this is probably easily top 5 for me. But the way they ended it, I wasn't a fan of it. So they bring Dexter back in New Blood. This is the one that came out a couple years ago with Harrison older. Harrison comes in, and the ending to this one, I just wasn't a fan of it. Other than that, the lead up to really till the last episode, pretty much halfway through the last episode, this is top 5 season of Dexter. But the way they end this one just really throws it down the list for me, because I mean, up to that point, you've got Kurt Caldwell, Clancy Brown as him, doing a really good job as the villain. Harrison, you've got him going through his own demons, trying to fight his inner passenger, dark passenger, and then Dexter kind of helping out his girlfriend here. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but the sergeant of the police town, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. But anyways, he helps her find her lost friend she's been looking for however long, 20 years, whatever. And then the way they wrap it up here, just not really a fan. So we'll see if they can end up resurrecting that. No pun intended, with Dexter Resurrection coming out later in 2025. But yeah, the way they stuck the landing on this, wasn't a fan of it. Other than that, though, really, really good season. Number 7, season 7. So this one, you've got Isaac Serco here. This one, Hannah McKay, not really a fan of her character with the stuff. Once she got introduced, I really thought the show kind of went downhill. What saved this season for me, because New Blood would be above this season, but what saved the season for me is LaGuerta and her hunt for Dexter. Okay, so this is a season where her and Dexter come head to head. LaGuerta realizes there's some stuff up with Dexter, and he might be actually the Bay Harbor Butcher. And so you run into this conclusion here with Deb and LaGuerta coming head to head against Dexter being set up here. And that's what really saves the season for me, because other than that, I mean, Isaac Serco's got some good stuff, but Hannah, I wasn't a fan of her character, like I said, in the way that arc went. So season 7, not the greatest season. This is where things really start to go downhill once this season hit. But that storyline with LaGuerta and Dexter, I thought that kind of saved this season for me. All right, number 6, season 6. Okay, I promise after this, it's not just going to go straight in order. But season 6, this one had some good stuff here. Now, you got the questionable stuff going on with Deb and Dexter. Won't get into that with the incest stuff they got going on there. But I thought Colin Hanks did a good job as the killer in this season. I thought it was pretty intriguing up to the very end. And then I thought they kind of waited a season too late to have Deb figure out that Dexter was the Bay Harbor Butcher, or was a killer at least. So there was a lot of potential in this show. I thought the Doomsday Killer was pretty intriguing. Like the way they kind of played it out here, had Dexter kind of questioning his beliefs, his religion, kind of trying to find himself in that. Was a little different spin on it. But season 6 overall, I'm a fan of. All right, number 5, season 3. So you got Miguel Prada in this season. You introduce Quinn to kind of replace the Dokes character a little bit. So you got some intrigue there. Dexter opens up to Miguel. So somebody finally knows that he has a dark passenger. Somebody else can finally kind of feel what he's saying and finally kind of open up to somebody. And then Miguel ultimately get him kind of turning on Dexter, trying to use that dark passenger against him a little bit. And season 3, though, a lot of people, this is probably in their top 3, really, from what I've seen, a lot of the rankings anyway, because a lot of people were a fan of Miguel Prada. I think this is a good season, though. Like I said, other than that last one, that last spot, in season 8. Everything up, I would recommend, this season included. Number 4, seasons 5. All right, so the Barrel Girl case here, this is kind of when the show starts to take a turn, as far as most people say after season 4, don't bother watching. The reason I like this one, yeah, you've got the Barrel Girl cases. That one's pretty good with Jordan Chase, him trying to hunt down him working with Lumen to kind of take these guys down and trying to cope with once Rita's gone. Now, the main storyline I like in this one is Liddy, Stan Liddy. Quinn pays him to kind of hunt down Dexter and figure out, is there really something up with this guy or not? And I like the way that story goes down, because it kind of ends with a conclusion where you've got Quinn and Dexter kind of having an understanding with each other. Yeah, I'm not going to turn you in. You probably know who I am, but we're not going to go down that route. But the Quinn storyline with Stan Liddy, I was a big fan of that in this season. I thought Lumen and Jordan Chase, that was pretty interesting as well. Lumen and Dexter kind of working together a little bit. And then at the end, you realize Lumen, she realizes this life isn't for her. She did what she needed to do. She got revenge, but she's not like Dexter in that she doesn't have a dark passenger that just constantly needs refreshing. She did what she needed to do. She did her duty, and she's good now. Number 3, we've got season 2. So this is where Dokes and Dexter finally come to a head. I wanted to move this season up even further on this list, but I just couldn't do it. You've got Lila here. Really good season. These top 3 right here, peak television, 3, 2, and 1. But Dokes, probably my favorite character in all of Dexter. Okay, he knows since season 1, you've got something wrong with Dexter for sure. Surprise, mother. And him and Dokes and Dexter finally coming to a head. Lila kind of figuring out not only Dexter's secret, but helping Dexter figure out his dilemma with what the heck am I going to do with Dokes. Okay. Rule number 1 of the code, don't get caught. But does Dokes really deserve to die for something that I did? Okay. He knew something was up with me. Yeah, there is something up with me, but does he need to die for me to live on? And then ends up not having to worry about it because Lila kind of does that for him. And this season, you've got Dexter dealing with his demons. All right, has to lie to Rita, say he's a drug addict, even though he's really not, to kind of say he's going to rehab to deal with his demons, but really it's his dark passenger, not a drug addict stuff. But Lila, a good character in this season as well. Wish Dokes could have lived a little longer, but spoiler alert, he did not. Our number 2, season 1. Season started all. You've got the Bay Harbor Butcher case. Eye Struck Killer. Bay Harbor Butcher case doesn't come into this play into the season. I don't know why I said that, but Eye Struck Killer, Brian Moser. Really good, intriguing season from the jump. This show gets you right off the bat. End of season 1, the end of episode 1 in season 1. There's no way you can't be hooked on the show, because the way it ends, it's got you hooked from the jump. You've got to see more. You've got to go ahead and binge that first season. But again, if you have not seen this show, go start it right now. I promise you won't regret it. But this season, you got all the characters a little younger. All right, Dexter hasn't quite come into his own yet, okay? But once he gets done with this, once the Eye Struck Killer starts playing games with him, it's game on after that. Season 1, great television. All right, number 1, we got to have season 4 with the Trinity Killer. You've got Rita and Dexter finally married. All right, finally got a kid in Harrison. And the Trinity Killer, the best villain that Dexter has had. All right, this is widely heralded as one of the best seasons of television ever. And there's a reason for that. Dexter and Trinity Killer going at it. Once Trinity Killer finally figures out who Dexter is at the very end of that season, it's chaos and just leaves you wanting more with that cliffhanger. But those are my ranking of the Dexter season. What are yours? Let me know. Comment down below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe.